Hey everyone, welcome back. I just posted a new video yesterday, so if you didn't check that out, feel free to check it out on the Fully Spec channel. Pretty much, it was the whole delivery of the kit, so it was a fun video to make. But I'm glad that the delivery process is actually over and more into the building stuff. So yeah, that's just live on the channel now. I posted it yesterday, and I appreciate everyone watching all that and tuning in live as well. So today, I know that I posted a live video a few days ago going over kind of the skinning. I think I was doing I don't remember which one I was doing. I think I was doing the vertical stabilizer or something, but I wanted to go over how to set up the frame. So, aircraft parts are super lightweight, and this is the elevator. So this is the part that makes the airplane go up and down. And this is pretty much the insides right now. It's really floppy, as you can clearly see. But once we get everything riveted together, it gains a little more rigidity and strength. And then once we put the skins on top, which I don't know, and I'll get to that, but once we put the skins on top, that kind of locks everything in place and it becomes a really strong piece. So I guess I'll go over some of the tools that we have for this. Obviously, you have the riveter. I don't remember if I talked about the riveter last. I don't know if I talked about the riveter last video, but rivets are like, I don't know. This is kind of what they look like here. So you have like the rivet head right here, and then you have this long piece which is called the mandrel. And what happens is we take our rivet gun right here, put it on top of the mandrel, and what the rivet gun does is it sucks this part up and like bulges out this bottom part, and that's kind of what locks everything in place. So we're going to be doing some riveting, and I think I mentioned Clecos on the other video as well. Basically, they're temporary rivets, so you can squeeze them, and they kind of go in there. And when you let go, it expands like a rivet would and holds everything in place until you're ready to take them out and rivet. So let's talk about what I've done so far. If you think about the airplane, the way I kind of have this set up right now is the airplane is going that way. So this is the back of the elevator, and that's the front of the elevator. And if you look at the drawing, I'm not sure if you can really read this, but there's a forward indicator there, and that's a reference for which way's forward, obviously. So these are all the parts that you have to assemble for the elevator. We pretty much have everything here. So let's see. If you look at the back, this is the back of the airplane. Adjust my camera. This is the back of the airplane. I've already riveted in some of these ribs, they're called. So you can see that, the rivets are in there. I screwed up one of the rivets on the other. So this is like the left side. There's a whole other side here that's, below the camera. For the most part, this is this is the center right here. It's duplicated left and right for the most part. There are a couple other parts that aren't duplicated on this side that are on this side, but for the most part, they're the exact same. So yeah, I screwed up one of the rivets on here, so we'll have to drill it out together. Basically, what happened was I was trying to install these two little bars like this, and I wasn't really paying attention. And when I went to rivet, you can see right there inside here, it's supposed to be in there, but I wasn't really paying attention, and I guess I didn't have this piece in there all the way. So when I pulled the rivet, it just slipped right out. It didn't actually go into the other part. So we got to drill that out and redo it. Not a biggie. And what I'm working on right now are the hinges, and these hinges are right here. So you have some pretty beefy rivets. I mean, you can see how big they are here. We have some pretty beefy rivets that hold this in, and these are the hinges that attach to the horizontal stabilizer. So the whole assembly is able to pivot like this. There's like these little brass bushings that you put in there. You press them in, and that's how you're able to actuate the whole kit and caboodle. So let's see. I guess so. I didn't. There's one more that I have to do. So I riveted this one here. There's 4 total hinges, and I haven't riveted this hinge yet. So you can see I have 2 Clecos in there, and the Cleco only holds down one side of the hinge, so the other one's kind of rotating. So what we can do is get one of these honking rivets. These are pretty big rivets compared to skin rivets, which are a lot. You don't need a rivet as strong for the skin, but for the hinges, you want some strong rivets. So I'm just going to put my rivet kind of in there. And the key with rivets is you want it sitting pretty flush. So if it's not sitting flush, you have an issue you need to take care of. Either it needs to be deburred or something like that. And you can see on this side, this is the rivet that we're about to pull. It's pretty long, and it's not going to be that way once we pull it. So all you do is you get your rivet gun, put it on top of the mandrel, and you're going to hear rivet gun go, and then you'll hear it pop, and that removes the mandrel, and your rivet's all set. So everything's in place. There you go. We just riveted that first piece right there. So what we can do now is take our Cleco pliers and remove this rivet and find ourselves, this is my bag of rivets here, find ourselves a new rivet. Put the rivet in where the Cleco used to be. Whoops. Take a rivet gun, put it on top of the mandrel, make sure it's all level. The key to riveting is you don't want like the rivet gun to be totally like cocked to the side like that. You want it so it's relatively perpendicular to the surface you're trying to rivet. So pull the trigger and you're good. Let's get another one. Oops. Pop that in. And then for the last one, last but not least, pull that rivet. There you go. We have a hinge all set up, and it looks just like the other one. I didn't screw it up, so that's good. It'd be pretty obvious if I messed it up. Like you could rotate this thing 90 degrees and it would it would not fit. So that would be pretty obvious. And these suckers, they're really crappy to drill out. So you got to be careful with those guys. Okay, so that's that. We got all of our hinges in place. That was one of the steps we had to do. So let's see. I think we're pretty much okay. We need one rib down there. Let's go ahead and get that in place. And then I think we're pretty much good with the aft side. So we're installing this rib here. And this one only has one hole that we need to rivet. So we're not going to Cleco this one. And this rivet is a lot smaller because we're only going through 2 pieces of aluminum, not a single piece. So what we need to do is change the tip of this fella right here. So there's 4 different tips you can have for this rivet gun. So to change it, you pull down the trigger, pull the battery out, and this is the correct size. They get stored kind of in here. This is the correct size one. There's a tool. You can unscrew. Put the new one on, and then we can put the other one that I just took off back into the storage part. Goes right in there. We can put our battery back in, and we're golden. Cool. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and get this rivet set up. So we'll put the rivet through here, and we can bend these little tabs a little bit just to kind of get them out of the way of the rivet gun. But you want to make sure that in the directions, it kind of tells you what way they're all, because you can have it this way or you can have it this way. In the directions, it tells you they all go inwards. So we're going to do that. And I have the directions. I had them over here, but they're pretty much here in front of me. Tells you the ribs face inwards towards the center of the assembly, except for the 2 elevator horn ribs, which are in this thing that looks like a gun. These ones face outwards. So I've already riveted this. I need to put a rivet there. So this is the bearing. Would it actually, when you pull on the stick, this little bearing keeps it so the elevator moves up and down nice and slow, or nice and smooth. So that's the only one that has weird ribs. The rest are facing inward. So get these all lined up, and this is what I screwed up before, so I'm going to make sure I don't do that again. Get that in there, make sure it's in place, which it is. There we go. We're all set. Now we got to do our best to try to get these fellas back to 90 degrees. It will help us when it comes time to assemble the skin. This one's pretty close. It's off a little bit. You can see the whole assembly is still pretty flimsy right now. It's once we bolted up, or once we rivet it up to these guys right here, it will take a lot more rigidity, and then when we put the skin on, it's not going anywhere. So let's do. I guess I can explain how to drill out a rivet. This one's kind of tricky because the mandrel cut really, where is it? Mandrel cut pretty high on this one, so we're gonna have to punch it a few times, and then we should be able to get the drill in there to actually pop it out. All I have here is a center punch. I'm just gonna punch it a few times to try to drill that mandrel down. So here. Okay. Hey, look at that. The mandrel just popped right out. Perfect. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get the drill, the air drill, and we'll get all set up with that. All right, so the key to doing this that I found, I've had to drill out probably a dozen rivets so far because I screwed up, but the key to doing this is to just full throttle on the drill and push, and the head will just come right off. So let's just go ahead and do that. Done. You can see that the head got stuck on there, and it kind of does, but you can just twist it right off like that. And it left a little bit of a burr. So you can, I don't know if you can see that at all, but it left a little bit of a ring around there. And on the back, there's a bit of a burr. So we want to take care of that real quick. So I'll just grab some sandpaper. Where is it? Here it is. Hit it with the sandpaper real quick. Cool. Same with this side. Cool. All right. So we'll finish that one up, and then I think we can mate the two halves together, the two spars. But before I do that, I definitely want to double check the instructions because that's a lot of rivets to undo if I screw that up. So, all right, let's not screw this one up. One. And as I'm kind of grabbing the rivets, I have like a deposit of rivets over there that have their own individual boxes. I'm checking to make sure on the diagram that I'm grabbing the right rivets. It tells you what rivet to put where. So, whoops. All right, there's that. Cool. So, there's some other parts that I haven't done yet that include, we have like this hinge here. I have not cut this hinge yet, so I need to cut that hinge at some point because that actually mates the two halves together, so the left and the right half. Yeah, so that we need to cut that at some point today. But what I kind of want to do is check to see if I'm in the clear. Check to see if I'm in the clear to make these two, the front and back part of the elevator together. So let's see. I think so. Just kind of do a dry fit here. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, let's mate them together. So these actually have a direction, so definitely doesn't go like that. And I'm going to double check. Whoops, it goes like that. All right, so the parts manual shows, sorry, yeah, the parts manual. So okay. Yeah, perfect. All right, let's start clecoing this fella together. See how far we get. Until I double checked, I thought that the rivets had to go in that way, which would have been a huge pain in the butt to get the rivet gun in there. But when you check out the parts manual, it actually shows the rivets going in that way. So from the back of the spar here, so it makes it a lot easier. All right, let's get some clecos and get to clecoing. For these guys, I don't know, one cleco per. It's not like I'm going to be, it's not like it needs precise alignment. So I figured I'd save my wrist strength a little bit and just only do one per instead of doing a bunch. All right. So I haven't done the end ones. I know there's something special that goes with the end ones, but when I look at the diagram here, these ones I just put in, it just those rivets, but those ones have like brackets on the outside that I have to put on. So actually, it might be these guys right here. So wait a minute for those. Okay. These guys. All right, let's check out this bracket business that's going on over here. Okay, so put this in. Looks like it has this little doubler as well. So basically it'll go the doubler, spar, then this guy here. So let's see, 12 and 13. Okay. So this is just telling us how to rivet it. There was a little asterisk next to the rivets here. So let's put this in here. And this goes down. I don't know if I even want to put this in right now because it's just gonna like off. It's gonna make the whole thing tilty. So I might wait on that for a minute until we get all these folks done up. So let's look at this rivet business or this bracket business. Got this bracket here. Oh, that doesn't look. Is that part 3? How did that happen? Part 3 is, yeah, this is the right one. Okay. Goes like that on the outside. 3 rivets. It looks like it goes in the very end hole. So let's go ahead and get that mounted. Ooh, which holes does it go through? Oops. Great. All right, do the same thing to the other side. If I can find the other bracket. Oh boy, where is it? Did I not grab both of them? Oh, boy. Part down. I don't know where that other part is. Not a big deal. I'll find it in a minute. Okay, let's see. 12. 41. All right, well, we can start riveting some of these ribs in. Start over here. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can either kind of like insert the rivet into the part and then just come by and drill it or rivet it, or you can actually put it into the rivet gun first and then line it up. Really depends on user preference. So if I'm doing a ton of them, I think it just makes sense to go through and like plop them all in. But for this, it doesn't really matter too much. Cool. Might just be, this thing weighs like a pound, so it's really light. So it might even be easier just to do what I'm doing and just pick it up. Perfect. Next. Oh, I'm missing two. Whoops. There's that. Get these guys in. Then we'll work on the other side. This part's pretty monotonous. There's nothing really fun to this other than just, you get to see it when it's done. See it all come into shape, what it's going to look like. So that's kind of enjoyable. Okay. One more rib, then we got the end rib, which is a special case. I got to look at the instructions for that because I know that there's maybe it is only 3 rivets. I'll have to look at that. Cool. Okay, so these are different rivets, so we're not going to use the 41s. Part 13, which 42s. So it'd be because we're going through three pieces of aluminum. Because we're going through three pieces of aluminum, we need a little bit of a longer rivet head. So we're using the Dash 42s, which are just slightly longer than the Dash 41s. Let's get those in. Okay, so this is really tight right here. So what you can do, you can see that my finger's on a rivet right there, and to get this rivet gun in there is kind of a pain in the butt. So you can just very gently bend this tab over. You just want to double check it. No, it's not bending very easily. Hold on. You just want to double check it when you finish riveting. You want to make sure you bend it back to a 90-degree angle. So that in there. Whoops, there goes that rivet. And even now it's still pretty tight. So see if I can just bend it a smidge more, not too much. There we go. All right, let's get this. I'm going to do this on the table. It's way easier on the table. There, that's a perfect bend. Cool. I don't know where that other, there it is. Cool. So got those two in. We're going to take the Cleco out. Get another Dash 42. Nice. So gently bend this thing back. And I'm using, I'm kind of just looking to see where the 90-degree angle is using the spar edge. So that looks pretty good. Doesn't need to be exact because the rivets will kind of pull it into place. But like if I put this on top of the spar, yeah. All right, so if you look here, all I did was put my level here, and I just look down there and I can't see any. It's laying flat, so yeah, it's bent back to exactly where it should be. All right, so we got all our rivets in there. I reckon it's time to move to the other side here. So that will go up there for now. Get that out of our way. Put some of these Clecos back. This guy over so everyone can see. And then we start. Remember, these ones are all -41. So when I was making the horizontal stabilizer, that big airfoil behind me, what I did was there's tons of rivets in here, so I just went hole by hole and put a rivet in there, and then just came by with the gun and hit it. It made it a lot easier than putting it in one by one. You just kind of do it all at once and get it over with, I guess. So, but here, if I put it in, if I put them in all at the same time, because I'm wiggling this thing around so much, they'll probably fall out. Perfect. And when I put the rivet in, I want to double check that the mandrel got cut. It didn't pull all the way out. And also you want to make sure that the part is like actually flush against the thing. The two parts are flush, which is exactly what I'm seeing so far. And the Clecos help with that because the Clecos kind of set it in place, I guess you could say. Cool beans. All right, make sure there's no special case here. There isn't, so continue with these guys here. Sometimes you'll be like riveting, and then there's a special case where you need to use a different size rivet or whatever, and it totally catches you off guard. Which, no way that's happened to me. No way. Cool. All right, let's remove some of these Clecos so we can get some more rivets in there. These are unnecessary at this point. All right, so already like this frame has become way more stiff. It still like can twist, which is something we'll need to check for, but it's a little bit stronger. Once we put the skin on, we check for twist to make sure it's not like twisted, which is the last live stream video that I did. It's exactly what we did in that video. Then, sometimes like it'll sneak up on you because you're putting all rivets in this way, and then there'll be a special case where the rivets need to go in that way, and I think that's got me before. Okay. All right, those two folks are in place. All right, so let's see. All right, so I got to find that other end bracket. That's really strange. I don't know where that. I don't know where that could have gone. So I got to find that end bracket, and then what else? We got to cut this thing into like 3 different parts. And then we'll essentially be mating the two together. Cool. All right, let me look around for that part. I might have put it back. I don't know why I would have put it back, but I might have. Strange. Did I? Yeah. Well, it's not under the workbench. This is odd. I wonder if I threw it away. I don't know. Maybe a mouse stole it. Huh. Weird. Okay, so let's move back to this other, the right side. And let's finish up. Basically, this goes this facing forward on the outside, and this I think a wing like a tip goes there. So let's go ahead and get that installed. I'm still perplexed where the hell that other piece went, but so you can probably even see this in the video. This is really curved this way. So what I'm going to do is get a piece of aluminum, and we can use our fluting pliers, which are over there, to flute it like this. And essentially what that does is it curves it out. So it's longer than my piece of aluminum. That's great. It's just great. All right. So I put 3 flutes in here using the fluting pliers. Basically, they're pliers with like a divot on one side of them. And that kind of flattened it out a little bit. Maybe I did a little too much on this one. But it kind of flattened it out. So basically, you just work your way down on these stupid things. Making sure to flute inwards. Yeah, so the more I do, the more kind of in it goes. So let's just do one of each. Oh, that leveled out pretty nicely, actually. Nice. That's looking good. Let's do the same to the other side if it needs it. I did this one a little too much. Nice. Okay, that looks really good on that side. I definitely did this one a little too much. So I'm going to come back, reverse these. Which one? It's this one. You can actually gently undo them. I don't know if you're supposed to, but you can. There's still a pretty nasty twist in it. And the only reason you're doing this is just to make sure it lines up well. Just twist it a touch. What is causing that twist? Okay, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Looks like I did this one a little too much. Okay, it's pretty close. This is also a good part, so it's a little more tricky, I think, to flute it. Okay, I undid it and it totally screwed it up. So let's redo it very slightly. Okay, that's bringing it back. There, that looks really good. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but it's laying pretty flat now. And before, you can still see a little bit. I don't think it's too particularly important that it's super flat, but compared to what we had, which was that's kind of how it came. It looks really good. So before we finish up on this part, I like to check that these are all 90-degree angles. So get our edge and just kind of go through. And the reason is on my vertical stabilizer, I didn't really check to make sure that they're really close to 90 degrees. So what ended up happening was they were bent down. So when you riveted the skin on it, pulled the skin down a little bit, and you could see like the dimples, which isn't too big. Like I don't really care that much, but it would have looked a little bit nicer if it wasn't like that. So let's check to make sure these are. Do this big piece. So these ones look like they're a little over 90, which is okay. The skin will kind of push them down. I just want to make sure they're not too far under 90. Cool. Okay, this piece looks pretty good. Yeah. Sweet. All right. So this one's good. I'm gonna leave that one for later. It's boring. That away. Put our fluters away. And we can bring our other part. This goes over here. Bring our other part over here and see what we can do. Let's go ahead and check our parts manual. So it looks like those are number 12, which is the Dash 41. So bring this over. Cleco it. It looks like it's going to get 5 rivets. One, we'll do 2 or 3 Clecos, I guess. Okay, so top and bottom, like so. So this is the importance of bending that piece back. Remember the end when I bent there, bending it back to 90 degrees, or else the whole thing would be like off. So that's the importance of bending it back. All right, 41s. Get a couple. Let's get a rivet gun. Sometimes these are really a pain in the butt to get in. So what we can do is take our Cleco pliers, take the Cleco out of this hole since that's been lined up, put it in the pole that's given us problems, and see if it will go in the top one now. Wait, you won't. So you kind of got to coerce its way in there. Okay. What are those called? Elevator tip. I just want to make sure that I'm not doing this. I want to make sure that I'm not jumping the gun here, which I think I might be. Well, yeah. I'm going to wait on those to rivet, actually, because I think I might need to take that whole thing off to do it. But I think that's about it for this stream. What I need to do is find that part. I have no idea where it is. So find that and then continue moving on. But I don't know. I have no idea where that could possibly be. So I got to look for that. But I appreciate you tuning in if you actually stuck through the whole thing. And yeah, I don't know. I'll probably live stream once a week. And I was hoping for a YouTube video like once every month and a half or so. But we'll see how that works out. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.